Good evening. I would like to call the Monday, May 13th, 2019 School Board meeting to order. Lisa, would you please call the roll?
Inspector Arend.
Here.
Inspector Lalaberty.
Here.
Inspector Bjorklund.
Here.
Inspector McClellan.
Here.
Inspectors Diaz, Felton, and Walker are absent. 4 present.
Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We are excited to start our night welcoming Special Education Director Kelly Tetrick along with some of staff, students, and families. Welcome and thanks for being here tonight.
Good evening, Board of Education and those South St. Paul community members watching out there in the community. My name is Kelly Tetrick, and I have the privilege and honor of serving this district as Special Education Director that also covers special services in the district. And with me tonight is Teresa Starkman, Assistant Director of Special Services, as well as a wonderful group of educators behind me, para-educators. I have parents here this evening, students, and I think you're in for a very wonderful presentation. These folks are here tonight to really show you some of the wonderful events that they have had the opportunity to bring to Lincoln Center, our elementary school. They are a part of our SUN program, which is our Students with Unique Needs program. And they have been working diligently to bring inclusive practices across our district. As Director of Special Services, I do have the honor of getting to attend many events around the district. And just recently, our staff here at Lincoln Center invited me over to an event that was called the ASD Cafe. ASD, Autism Spectrum Disorder, and they put on an event. And it was a fantastic opportunity to see our students in action, working on their communication skills, working on their academic skills, working on their functional skills, and interacting with their peers across the school at Lincoln Center. So with that, I would like to invite the group to come up, and I don't know how many are coming up here this evening. Come on up. Okay. With us tonight, I've got Deanna Roaring and Allison Jensen, who are 2 of our special education SUN teachers. And they are going to be taking over here and just giving you, like I said, this wonderful presentation. Again, they've got paraprofessionals here this evening. They've got an OT, speech pathologist. We've got an assistive technology specialist, parents, and most importantly, we have students here this evening as well. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Deanna and Allison.
Thank you. I'm Allison Jensen.
I'm Deanna Roaring.
Yep. And we are teachers at Lincoln Center. And we're excited to highlight some of the great work that our students get to do each day here tonight. So the SUN program at Lincoln Center has 3 classrooms, a total of 21 students, I think 22 now.
Maybe 23.
Primarily with students with significant needs in the areas of autism spectrum disorder, cognitive delays, physical impairments, or severely multiply impaired. The classroom teachers collaborate closely with speech, OT, physical therapy, adaptive phys ed, nursing, and of course our general education colleagues. And we just wanted to talk a little bit about a few different things that we've been doing. So this is the core board. Core vocabulary is a newer concept within working with students
Thank you.
who have limited verbal skills, focusing primarily on, there are 300 words in the English language that take up about 85% of our communication, or you can replace more specific words with those words. So in order to give our students the greatest ability to communicate the most information in any given situation, we've started by focusing on these 48 words. This came out of last year in the community of practice meeting for DCD teachers here in the metro area, I got to attend a training where we talked about this, and we started working as a team and just kind of playing with it last year. And then this year we were able to turn that into our PLC work with extra support from Robin Ross's
Right back
Metro
there.
XU grant in order to support some additional work on that.
Yeah, and it was a pretty big grant, and we were able to get some really great supplies and able to fund a learning session with our wonderful para-educators and collaborating with them, and had some good work sessions. We were able to kind of dig deep and get some hands-on materials. We also, besides PLC work, we collaborate most Thursdays and plan out the week with all of our related services and anybody else that we think would be important. And there's just some really, really great success stories with that. Here's just some of the quotes. I'm going gangbusters on using it in my therapy, and it's been so awesome. Can't believe how quickly the kids take to it and how it decreases stress in them. You can see in the excitement and lowered stress because they're able to communicate with CORE. I get teary when a student who didn't communicate before uses CORE. CORE has been an amazing resource for nonverbal students to tell us what they need. CORE is a comprehensive approach to functional vocabulary that is used throughout the day in all aspects of the students' lives.
So I wanted to share 2 pictures that made me particularly excited about things I've gotten to see CORE this year. So this little guy here in the red shirt was trying to tell me where I set down my coffee one morning because I was looking for it. And we have a big poster-sized CORE board on the wall. He pulled it down off the wall and dragged it across the room so he could show me where my coffee was on the board. Next to that is the picture, and you can see that a student is referring back to the text in A Very Hungry Caterpillar, using his CORE board to answer some comprehension questions about the story, and he was actually asking some questions about he was asking whether or not the caterpillar had eaten the entire piece of fruit, but using the CORE board. So he had really been thinking deeply about his questions, and that's something that we never would have been able to access before, because without the CORE board, we were giving them all of their words, and now they can communicate with us more openly.
And back to the previous, here, this is just a picture of all of us at Charting the Seas. It's this big conference in Alexandria. You can see there right outside my door is, we tell everybody, we have a sign what CORE, the word of the week we're working on. So that way anybody that walks through our door knows, hey, we're working on all done today, or all done this week. Help use it when you just greet students or ask anything of them. And that's been really fun to experience. And then that's just a slide that we will be using in these upcoming weeks. It's our word was where. So where do you do meetings, smartboard, and then who will you see, and then it has my face. So it's that's just one of the activities that we do with CORE.
Awesome.
It's been really fun.
So another new thing we've been using this year is the snack cart. So this fall, we had a couple of kids who really needed the chance to get some heavy work. They needed to move around. And we thought it might be kind of fun for them to pass out snacks to staff who were interested. So we started a partnership with one of the self-contained EBD classrooms that works with the older students, and they are the managers of our snack cart, and then we're the employees. So they set up a survey and sent it out to staff of what snacks we needed, and we send out a Google form once a week to get the orders of what people want. And we typically get around 15 staff a week who choose to participate, and they haul that big cart through the halls, and they have to talk with staff, and they plan their route, and they have to talk with staff on what they want, and they have to pick what it is and let them know if they're out of something. We collect donations from people when they choose to donate from us, and we also did get a donation from the Fill the Backpack campaign, so then they handle the money and keep track of it so we know what we have available to get more snacks. And And it's super fun. The kids have a great time with it. They're really proud of their work and take a lot of ownership of selling, and they are excited to take turns. So because most of these students pictured here, their goals are around functional communication, social skills, social cognition, so things like eye contact and self-regulation. So being able to maintain, calm, appropriate behavior in different parts of their school day. This gives them a chance to practice those things kind of in real time. And so it takes about an hour once a week, and they get really excited for snack cart day. So that was an exciting thing we've added. The next thing we've got here is our Down Syndrome Awareness Party. And we may have a guest speaker coming, but we'll see how he's feeling about it. We did make a video ahead of time just in case he wasn't thrilled about the idea. So we wanted to do some demystification of disabilities and what students with disabilities are capable of and what they need extra support with. So we did some work around Down Syndrome Awareness Day, which is March 21st, to teach the general ed classrooms. We had some books and some lesson plans and other things that, regardless of whether classrooms had students with Down syndrome or not, in them they could benefit from these things. And that all culminated on, it was actually March 22nd, but on with our Down Syndrome Awareness Day party, where each of our students in the building with Down syndrome invited some of their general ed peers to come join us. We made little pizzas, they read some books, and we had a dance party. Our student Charlie also has an uncle with Down syndrome, and he was a guest chef with us that day, so he joined us and helped us cook. And then, Charlie, do you want to come talk? No? Kind of had a feeling that would be the case. Is that going to work? Well, our video isn't going to work, but Charlie.
Oh.
If you decide you want to come up, you can come up in a minute, too. So Charlie and his family have been advocates for sharing that information with school, and we've had some great moments of other kids asking or learning things through both of those pieces, and then also from Charlie and from other students directly.
In April, we did a lot of work on Autism Awareness Month, and we all got these cool shirts and kind of showed off in the middle there. Those are 3 of my paras, and just showed off some of our strategies that we use and our evidence-based practices we use throughout the day. I also put up a couple bulletin boards. The first one on the top is interactive, so it did true and false. So kind of working on some of those myth busting. Like one of them would say like, kids with autism get to play all day at school, true or false? And it was just kind of fun how to see classes come around, and you could see the gen ed teachers talking through each one. And sometimes I would stop kids when they were just kind of looking at it and trying to figure things out. So it was just really interactive and very inquiry-based. So that was really fun. But our big highlight was the Cafe ASD. And so we helped, the kids ran the morning, the older kids in my classroom ran a hot beverage. And then the afternoon with Allison's youngers, they ran a cold beverage cafe.
We weren't going to do hot beverages.
So the first, the upper left is a student, a nonverbal student, who welcomed people with his button or his switch. He would say, "Welcome to Cafe ASD," and we were working on him like, "There's a person coming in," and he would push the button and welcome everybody. And then we had actually some people from the community come in, and one of our students with Miss Nye, the speech clinician, took their order, and then we had a runner who would run it to Miss Liz, who was behind with the hot beverages, and then we had a cashier So he was working more on his functional math skills, so that was really fun. And then it was really fun. We had a huge turnout,
was
and got people from down in the basement to up on second level. Just really, really interactive and a fun bucket filler, I think, for all.
Yeah, and kind of like the snack cart, in order to make it more accessible for students so they could be as independent as possible, we color-coded different things. So if they ordered iced tea, it had a little green sticker on it, and they had to, oh, I want the green one, and so the kids could do all of that work on their own, which I think you can see this little guy on the bottom left-hand side. He was really proud of his ability to pass out those beverages to anyone and get it right the first time. He thought that was really cool. So we had a lot of fun with that.
I hope this works, a little video Sam made. Oh, of course. So yeah, that was just a little video Sam made of the day, and it was just super fulfilling, and it was fun to get the exposure for the kids, but then also the adults too. Could see kind of how our classrooms run and what we're working on. And now I'm going to invite Angel Johnson to kind of tell you her family story.
Welcome.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Angel Johnson, and I've been asked to speak to you tonight about what autism looks like for my family. The picture you see is my son Leo, my daughter Lily Ann, and my husband Eric. Can any of you guess who is autistic in that picture? All three of them are.
No.
They're all on different levels. They all have different needs, different triggers, everything. My husband Eric, he's 35. He was diagnosed last year. He loves his job. He has social anxiety and does not know how to interact with people on a personal level. He, excuse me, his level of understanding is pretty close to what it is of you or I, but you may have to use different wording to explain it to him. He is very concentrated, methodical, and thorough when he does tasks. Like every little detail has to be perfect. Lily Ann is 6. She was diagnosed when she was 3. She is fairly high functioning, but she's not, excuse me, she's pretty high functioning. She's got a lot of basic skills, but she's not potty trained. So she uses diapers. We're working on it. She's not interested. She loves learning. She loves going to school. You ask her how her day was. It was super fun. That's all I get out of her. She has been going to Fraser in Egan for 3 years. She gets occupational, speech, and skills therapy through there. Leo, he is 9. He was also diagnosed when he was 3. He is nonverbal in a sense that he has a vast vocabulary, but chooses to use it very limitedly. He won't tell you his name or answer questions if you ask him. He has very limited self-help skills, so we have to help him get dressed, we have to help him bathe, we have to help him get drinks, which we have to put into a straw cup or a bottle, because he will throw them. And he is also not potty trained, so he is in diapers. He has no self-danger awareness. He will run, he will not stop. It doesn't matter where he's going, what he's doing. Cars are coming, busy street, he just runs. So for his safety, he wears a tracking monitor. And also sometimes for certain activities such as going to the zoo, he wears a harness. So he's never more than 5 feet away from us. He has feeding issues, which means he's extremely picky in what he chooses to eat. Some of those foods that he currently eats are crackers, popcorn, chips, mini muffins, and peanut butter M&Ms. He will not eat certain colors of candy, and he will not eat broken or irregularly shaped candy, crackers, or chips. He has, excuse me, he has been going to Fraser for 5 years now. He gets occupational, speech, skills, and in-home therapy. And this year at school, he's really excelled. He enjoys going to school, which is a first. He's in 3rd grade. The first kindergarten, 1st, 2nd grade were pretty rough. He tolerated going. This year, he loves to go. He is more regulated. He's more willing to do his work, and he's using communication models more frequently. I work very closely with the teachers and therapists at both school and Fraser. I make sure everybody's on the same page. What they're working on at Fraser, we try to work on at school, we work on at home. Try to keep it all unified, all cohesive. Some of those things that we do at home is we use visuals, we use the core board, we do repetition, imitation, we try working on writing, and just joint play. I'm also very involved in the classrooms. I help out whenever I can, which includes volunteering on field trips, sorting papers, cutting items for projects, just little things that can give the teachers and paras more time to be with these wonderful kids. I communicate with the teachers on a weekly and sometimes daily basis. I'm a wife, a mother, advocate, cheerleader, therapist, PCA, and chauffeur. It's extremely stressful to take care of 3 people on the autism spectrum. I make sure everybody's where they're supposed to be, when they're supposed to be there. But I do whatever role is necessary for my family. In closing, I have worked closely for 6 years now with special education teachers in this district. I have so much understanding, compassion, adoration for what they do. They never give up on these kids. They try everything they can until they find out what works for that individual child. They celebrate every new little thing that happens. It can just be something so tiny that you wouldn't even think of. It's a big celebration. They, excuse me, they care wholeheartedly about these kids. They really do. And the teachers, the paras, the students themselves do not get the recognition that they deserve. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That was awesome. So, one more chance. One more chance, Charlie's story.
You know what? I have an idea. Can I borrow Charlie's tucker?
Yes, you may.
So Charlie uses a tucker to communicate, although he's got some words down, as we know, pretty well on his own. So I don't know if the microphone will pick this up very well, but he was going to tell us about... Oh. Oh, well. Charlie was he prepared a little speech about Down syndrome awareness day to share, but,
Charlie might need to run that for you.
Probably. You're probably right.
So I did want to share a short story, and then we do have some hopes that we're going to have for the future here. But this little guy here in the picture had a really hard time with, he's another student in the classroom that my students are in kindergarten, and he had a really hard time in the fall. He was really apprehensive about interacting with our students, which I understand because things look a little different. And one moment that gave me a lot of joy and really reaffirmed for me that we were moving in a good direction is that we came in for a guest reader one day. This picture was like 2 weeks ago, and it was actually Charlie, who he saw Charlie walk in and lit up and then came over and sat next to him. Charlie had his talker, and eventually the classroom teacher needed to ask them to stop talking, so that we could listen to the reader, which for this little kid, for Charlie, you know, he got to practice social skills, he got to practice communication, he got to feel like he was a part of something. Those are all wonderful things. For this student, understanding and compassion and some level of perspective taking are tools that he is going to be able to carry with him for the rest of his life, and he got to learn those things in kindergarten from Charlie. What a better world we would have today if everyone got the chance to learn those things from Charlie in kindergarten. So I was really grateful to see that moment. It happened like right when we were getting ready for today. So we do have some hopes for the future. We're hoping to continue our work with the core vocabulary and how we can continue to make those skills more functional for students, and then work on bridging that connection with home, so that students can show their parents what they're learning, and those functional communication skills can increase at home as well. And we're working on our content area academics. We're hoping to really focus on increasing our math instruction next year.
And just, I think, like Allison just said, an increased understanding and empathy from general ed colleagues and general ed students, and just really increasing and building the inclusive practices. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions, comments? Go ahead, Dave.
Just awesome. So just to hear parents give you shout outs about the care that you have for our kids. Parents know, kids know. So just last week was our Teacher Appreciation Week and Staff Appreciation Week, so it will spill over to tonight too, and we just want to say thank you on behalf of the board for all of your leadership. So thank you.
Thank you.
Your passion, you should have passion for your work. I can see that.
Yeah,
Thank you.
clearly.
Anybody else? Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you. If you want to come up here, we'll give you a Packer Pride sticker and
Sure.
shake our hands.
Invite the whole group over.
Yeah, everybody.
Anybody that wants to come through.
I want to see Charlie anyhow.
I don't know if Charlie's ready.
Cut off here. He's not coming.
No. Start over there.
Start over here.
Thank you for everything you do. I shake your hand. You're just adorable. Thank you for everything. Thank you. Did you share your story? Really important to hear. Yes, thank you. It's okay.
Charlie's done.
That's a big reach, right?
Congrats, nice
Charlie's mom.
Thanks for everything.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
You guys want a sticker? Over here. There you go, Packer Pride.
Thank you.
There you go, Charlie.
You forgot somebody.
No. He's getting big. What grade is he? Kindergarten.
Yep, thanks for coming.
Oh, there's your talker.
He wants
we can't
his
forget it.
his tablet.
Good to see you. We'll take center seat.
Okay, we'll get on with our regular meeting. Moving on to the approval of our meeting agenda and minutes. I will ask for a motion to approve the regular board meeting agenda for Monday, May 13th, 2019, as well as committee of the whole minutes and regular minutes from April 22nd and special work session from May 6th. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. I'm looking for a motion to approve the consent items on tonight's agenda, which include financial claims, bills payable, and staffing. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to the policy section of our agenda, we have a number of policies, and those are available on the website. We'll be reviewing them until June 10th. We have several business items for approval this evening. First, I'll ask Nikki.
I'm introducing the following resolution and moving for its adoption. Resolution for the school calendar adjustment for the 2018-2019 school year. Whereas South St. Paul Public Schools Special School District 6 canceled an instructional day on Thursday, April 11th, 2019 during the 2018-2019 school year due to health and safety concerns. And whereas the Minnesota Legislature enacted Laws of Minnesota 2019, Chapter 5, Senate File 1743, which permits Minnesota school districts and charter schools to count these dates as instructional days for purposes of calculating the number of hours and days in the school year pursuant to Minnesota law. Now therefore be it resolved by the School Board of South St. Paul Public Schools, Special School District Number 6, State of Minnesota, as follows. Pursuant to Laws of Minnesota 2019, Chapter 5, Senate File 1743, the canceled instructional days of 1 will be counted in the calculation of the number of hours and days in the school year.
Thank you, Nikki. Is there a second?
Second.
Dr. Webb, would you share some background information on this resolution?
Yeah, so people are familiar with the governor and the legislature approving payment for 3 cold days or snow days. So we actually had an April snowstorm, so we were able to use that legislation, but we still had to pass the resolution tonight in order to get the funding from the state to pay for our school day. So that's what tonight was all about.
Thanks, Dave. Lisa, will you please take the roll?
Inspector Lalaberty.
Yes.
Inspector Arend.
Yes.
Inspector Bjorklund.
Yes.
Inspector McClellan.
Yes.
That's 4-0. Motion carries.
Thank you. The second business item we have this evening is the approval of the 2020-2021 school calendar guiding change document. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
Dave, would you save some more background information on this?
Absolutely. So our guiding change documents are just really the framework, the sandbox that the board creates us administratively to be able to create our calendar for the coming school year, or in this case, 2 years from now. So it's a planning document that guides our work.
Thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. The next item for approval is providing for the execution of a lease purchase agreement. And take that over to Patty.
Yes, resolution providing for the execution of a lease purchase agreement. Be it resolved by the School Board of Special School District Number 6, Dakota County, Minnesota, as follows. Section 1, Purpose and Authorization. Authority. Pursuant to the authority contained in Minnesota statutes, Section 465.71, as amended, the district is authorized to purchase real or personal property under an installment contract or may lease real or personal property with an option to purchase under a lease purchase agreement. The project. The district desires to finance the purchase of 275 laptop computers and related accessories through a lease purchase agreement. Offer of purchaser. The district has received an offer from Bremer Bank National Association, or its assignee of South St. Paul, Minnesota, to enter into a lease purchase agreement and provide financing under the agreement in the amount of not to exceed $406,750 and an interest rate of not to exceed 3.4% per annum and a term of not to exceed 5 years. Acceptance of offer of purchaser. The form of the proposed agreement between the district and the purchaser as presented to the school board is hereby approved, subject to such modifications as are deemed appropriate and approved by the attorney to the district. The school board finds the offer of the purchaser reasonable and proper and hereby accepts the offer. The chair and the acting secretary clerk are hereby authorized and directed to execute the agreement and other necessary closing certificates and documents that may be necessary to properly document the transactions described herein and in the agreement.
Thank you, Patty. Is there a second?
Second.
Dr. Webb.
So, yeah, Patty's lengthy description really basically said we want to purchase computers so we can outfit our whole teaching staff next year with new computers.
Are there any discussion? Lisa, will you please call the roll?
Inspector Arndt?
Yes.
Inspector Lalaberty?
Yes.
Inspector Bjorklund?
Yes?
Inspector McClellan?
Yes.
That's 4 yeas.
Next, I will read the next resolution. I move the adoption of the following resolution. Resolution relating to the non-renewal of limited contract long-term substitute teachers. Be it resolved by the school board by special school district number 6 pursuant to Minnesota statutes 122A.40 subdivision 5 that the teacher contracts are limited contract long-term substitute teachers in special school district number 6 are hereby terminated effective at the end of the 2018-2019 school year. Kim Radcliffe, long-term substitute elementary. Be it further resolved that written notice will be sent to said teachers regarding non-renewal of their contracts in accordance with Minnesota law. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Dr. Webb.
So we really love our long-term subs, but we follow the state standard procedures and have to take this action. So,
Any discussion? Lisa, will you take the roll?
Inspector Bjorklund?
Yes.
Inspector Arndt?
Yes.
Inspector Lalaberty?
Yes.
Inspector McClellan?
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0.
Thank you. Moving on, our next business item is for the school board to approve the Kaposia Education Boiler Replacement Project bid of $157,400 to Pioneer Powers. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
And a second.
Second.
Any discussion?
so could you just repeat the amount that you?
$157,400.
157. Thank you. Just wanted to make sure. So yes, so it's time for a new furnace at Kaposia boiler. We have 2 of them. One needs replacing, and this will do it for us.
Thank you. Do I, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We are finally to the motion that everybody is here for. The 2019 pilot for graduation sash identity procedures. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Any discussion? Dr. Webb?
Yeah, so there could be lots of discussion, and I'll just say that we have a number of students and staff in the audience here tonight. We just want, as a school board, to give you a shout out for continuing to elevate student voice in our school. We want to embrace student voice as an IB school district. We want to make sure that we are not only studying and learning to be knowledgeable, but once we get information, we want to be able to take action and to speak up and stand up. And that's what our kids did, and they're outstanding leaders in our school and outstanding leaders in our community. So we just want to say thank you.
Anybody else?
Thank you.
And Jeff, we have one other dignitary with us tonight. We have the Minnesota Teacher of the Year. Just, we could just get a wave. Thank you.
I'd just like to say everybody that involved, all the hard work they did. Thank you very much.
So we had a first and a second, I think.
Yeah,
We had discussion.
we had
So then it's
discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Yes.
Our last item this evening is the approval of the 2019-2021 Alternative Teacher Professional Pay System. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
Dr. Webb?
So yes, we have a I think every 2 years now, we're on a cycle of renewing our ATPPS plan. So we have a program that really is a state-sponsored program that we participate in. We partner with our teachers union. So we met recently with teacher leaders and our district leaders to craft this plan. We think it's a wonderful plan, and we have it for approval for you tonight.
Thank you. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. That's it for our business item this evening, so we'll move on to reports and informational items. We'll start with Superintendent Webb.
Hey, here we go. So our superintendent update for May 13th is as follows. So just a few minutes ago, we were just at our work session. We heard a staffing update, a graduation update, finance update, a learning update, and an equity update. So the next slide is what we've all been waiting for. So our Teacher of the Year is with us here tonight. I'm going to pull off the doc cam here, and I'm going to go back to program just so you can say hey. So we just want to congratulate you on behalf of school board and our school district and all the students that are here tonight.
Thank you. Thank you so much for giving these students real life learning and showing them what is possible when they are committed and respectful and knowledgeable. And I'm just so proud of them, and I'm so proud to be a Packer. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's way to go.
Thank you. Yay.
So the whole Teacher of the Year ceremony was a pretty incredible day. And there'll be so many memories for Jess this year, but for the students as well, and for our community. And Jess, we're just so proud of your collaboration and support and elevating student voice. So Ms. Davis runs one of our 4 affinity groups as well in the school. 4 years ago, we didn't have affinity groups in place. So we've come a long way. We're continued to head a new direction. So just wanted to recognize Ms. Davis today. We have our graduation rate just came in for all the data from the state. South St. Paul has a 95% graduation rate. The state of Minnesota is 83%. I got some analysis from another superintendent at a meeting today, and if you look at graduation rates, just with our free and reduced demographics alone, we're #1. So just wanted to give a shout out to our great staff, especially on our staff and Teacher Appreciation Week here. I've never been perfect in my life, but John Deneen sure has. Our junior at South St. Paul, he was able to be recognized for a perfect 36 out of 36 ACT score. So we just thought he needed a shout out tonight. And just as we wrap up today, our Ed Foundation gave away over $441,000 in scholarships. An incredible night celebrating all of our kids in our community. We also had, in addition to that, we had our Lions Club continues to give back to our school district in huge and significant ways. One of the most recent was the free vision screening for our kindergartners. So just a shout out to the Lions for all the ways that they give back to South St. Paul schools. My closing couple of slides, we have an upcoming play, May 17th through 19th, The Little Prince. We have our Stride for Packer Pride on the 18th. We have another community conversation series at the high school a week from tonight. That'll be focused on restorative practices. And then our finally, we have Kaposia PYP exhibition May 22nd. If you need any materials or resources, you can follow this tree, and we'll go back to you.
Thank you, Dr. Webb. Now it's time for board reports. We'll start with Nikki.
I would like to give a shout out to the food service program from the scholarship banquet the other night. The food that they prepared for that many people, I've never seen that many people at a scholarship banquet before. And it was so efficient and run well, and just for their hard work. And I don't think they get enough recognition. I know they had to do a retirement breakfast the next morning, and I just think they're tireless in what they do, and so I just want to express my thanks and gratitude for everything that our food service program does for kids.
Thank you, Nikki. Bill?
I just want to thank everybody who's stayed through the whole session here tonight. I hope you had a great time. I know I did. And congratulations. And let's get it done. I'm a Packer also, 57 years ago. So I know what Packer pride is. So thank all of you for coming.
Thank you, Bill.
And I just echo everything that's been said tonight. I'm very proud to be a Packer and be a South St. Paul resident. Oh, wow. It's very exciting.
Hey, thank you, Patty. Thank you again for attending, guys. We don't have any other business before us this evening, so I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion?
Nope.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We are adjourned.